America is a warlike country. It's always at war. And it seems to be incapable of staying out of a war. It's always got some kind of conflict going on. Um, why is that? The people who came here were probably fairly desperate, and they had a feeling that if they didn't fight against the world, they were going to die. And it was probably true to some extent. But the society that was created is a patriarchal society. And in spite of the fact that it touts its freedoms and says this is the land of the free, um, there's a psychological repression going on, especially in men, that um, causes them to develop a basic dishonesty toward themselves, and especially how they feel, how what their emotions are, their feelings of shame, their feelings of not being good enough, their feelings of being compared, and so we work to look good, and we also repress whatever it is in us we don't want to know about, and we don't know about it. We don't know about our sensitivity. We're not going to admit when we're hurt. We're going to be angry, and we're going to be outraged. And that is a denial of what's actually going on. There's a kind of split. And that split between our self image and what is really going on under the surface is a kind of illness. And it's very common in our society. And it creates all kinds of conflicts within the society itself, but also with other countries. And um, our solution has traditionally been to attack the point of view or the way of life or the strange look or way of being that frightens us. So, a good Indian is a dead Indian. Black people are low IQ. All of these attitudes are ways we protect ourselves from knowing who we are, knowing that we ourselves are afraid, that we ourselves are hurt. And we learned very early as children not to admit that. Um, so there's a lot of shame, there's a lot of self blame, and it's all unconscious. That creates a loose cannon on the world stage. So here we are in a new war, um, orchestrated by people who have to pretend they're something they're not, who are actually incompetent, who are actually ignorant. Um, Not only is it destabilizing for the world itself, it is so dishonest. It is so completely unnecessary. And it really comes from the individuals who cannot accept what they really are, what's really going on inside them, their own sensitivities, and they are in denial of how hurt they are. Is there a solution to this? Is it only arresting these people when Democrats get power again and putting them in jail? That may be a temporary solution on the political side, but of course it's not a solution that is going to change the world for better. It's just going to contain their energies and keep them from destroying us. How to be human on in the culture we live in, the civilization we have, it takes some doing. Um, it actually is uh, above and beyond education. It's above and beyond religion. It requires some kind of acceptance and honesty and ability to be curious about yourself, to be interested in who you really are and admit it. And there are ways to do that. One of the things that has helped me is just be creative. What comes out of you as a creation says something about who you are inside. Um, and there are ways of making art that will show you some aspect of yourself you had no idea even existed. That is one way to find out what is hidden. And we live in a system that requires you to hide. And if you're hiding from the world, you end up hiding from yourself. You don't really know. You're not allowed to know. And besides, it's inconvenient for our culture for you to be your eccentric self, your original self. What they want is you to be smart enough to perform the tasks they assign to you and no smarter. They don't want questions. Well, if we're going to be full human beings, and if we're going to find who we are really, we're going to have to ask some questions. And we're going to have to ask ourselves some questions. And looking into that mirror is not easy, and most people won't do it. But the few people who do it can help young people who haven't learned yet to just repress everything.